Brashard Smith out of SMU is the sleeper running back whose name you need to remember. This guy was a wide receiver in high school and his first few years in college, but switched to running back for his final year, and it was absolutely explosive. With an incredible burst of pace, fantastic lateral agility, and the kind of hands that are rare to see at the running back position, this is a guy who is ready to explode when he hits the NFL. He absolutely dominated the Senior Bowl, and I'm so excited to see what it looks like when he gets into the NFL. This guy could be the next Tyrone Tracy. If you enjoy this content, please consider liking and subscribing. But let's take a little bit of a look at Brashard Smith out of SMU. The first thing you notice when you watch Brashard Smith is an incredible lateral agility at the line of scrimmage. It is impossible to tell when you watch his ability to cut and go that this is someone who's only been playing the position for 1 year. And that shiftiness at the line in his ability to cut is something that he also shows out in space. Now, he's not got the prototypical size to play the position at only 5'10 and 195 pounds, so he's going to have to rely on that athleticism, that speed, and that burst much more than an ability to play through contact. But the ability to shift out in space and make the first tackler miss is going to be incredibly important to him, first of all to gain extra yardage, but also to mean that he's not taking a huge amount of contact that's just going to wear his body down, given that he's slightly smaller. I also think, as well as that lateral agility, he has a great burst of acceleration once he's picked his hole. You can tell sometimes with him, we'll come on to this a bit later, that the vision isn't quite there, but he does have a tendency to pick his hole and go to it full steam. And that acceleration into the second level is something that's really helped him throughout his time in college, as you saw in some of the clips at the beginning of the video. Then we get into the clear advantage that Brashard Smith has over the rest of this running back class, and that is the natural hands and incredible route running. You can see that he has a background as a receiver, and the way that he's able to work out in space shows the shiftiness and route running ability that we see from wide receivers more so than running backs, and that makes him very lineup versatile and a true mismatch in his ability to play out of the slot, catch passes out of the backfield, but also split out wide and win there as well. You can tell that this guy has a huge amount of experience lining up as a receiver, which means on third downs especially, he is a mismatch weapon because you truly don't know where he's going to line up. And he can succeed as a rusher, but out in space as well as a receiver, which is a huge thing going into the NFL. However, when I scouted Smith, there are some clear weaknesses to his game, which isn't a huge surprise given the lack of experience playing the running back position. One of the main things is the undersized frame. You'd like to see him put on a little bit of weight just to get over 200 pounds so that he can succeed when taking a huge amount of hits. But it's probably going to limit him from a true 3-down workload. This is someone that's going to be best in a 1A or 1B type position, where there's a runner that takes the early down work and probably more of the goal line touches, and Brashard Smith can be used as a weapon out of the backfield on third downs. Although he will need to clean up his pass protection in order to be a true third down back. The other thing is that I think you can tell the newness to the position, which again isn't a huge surprise, and I don't hold too much against him. Sometimes there's a little bit of naivety in his footwork and in his vision as well, and he has a little bit of a fumbling problem, just not being used to holding the ball in a slightly different way through contact. But these things don't worry me too much, as they're things that I think he can correct when he gets into the NFL. The other thing, which is something he's not going to be able to change, is this is someone that's always going to have to rely on speed rather than power. Now, at the wide receiver position, that's completely fine. At the running back position, we would prefer someone that can do both. But Smith is just never going to be the most powerful of athletes. However, that explosivity, especially the burst with one step and one cut, is something that I think he can rely on to be a huge weapon when he gets to the league. I was tempted to put Tyrone Tracy as my comparison, but I've gone with Chase Brown in terms of playstyle, a third down back who took a fair amount of time to develop as a rusher and now has a 3-down workload, but for the majority of his career was an explosive athlete out in space used in passing downs only. Then projected draft value. He is currently projected to be an early day 3 pick towards the back of the 4th round. This potentially could rise if different teams fall in love with his skill set, but I wouldn't be surprised if he stays this way. Projected rookie draft value is very hard at the moment. We don't have a huge amount of consensus with sleepers further down the board. I currently have him going towards the beginning of the third round in one quarterback leagues, and Superflex obviously a little bit later towards the middle or back end of the third round. But if this is where he ends up going, I am going to be taking him 100% of drafts that I can get him. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Check out all of the other rookie profiles available on my channel. I am midway through a series where I'm doing 50 rookie profiles in 50 days. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.